This week's secret is about multiculturalism and more specifically about culture shock. I think there are a lot of different kinds of culture shock that you can have when you come to Canada. They can be as minor as it's smelling different here. The foods that people cook and the foods that people eat might seem strange to you. It can be as serious as needing medication and going to the drugstore and not seeing anything that you recognize. Culture shock is pretty big here. One of the culture shocks you can have is if you come to an area like I live in the Greater Toronto Area, the GTA, you're going to meet people from all over the world. You're going to meet people from every race, every color, every religion. And they're going to be quite different than the people that you are used to from your country, especially if you came from a monoculture, a place where basically everyone is the same race or religion. So one of the big issues can be that you're going to meet people who are very different from you. Another completely different problem happens if you move into a smaller community outside of one of the major centers. And that's that you might literally be the only person in your town or village who is not of European descent. And you can feel very, very strange then. I hope that Canadians are mostly welcoming of newcomers, but I can't guarantee that we are. I have to tell you that I experience culture shock every week as an instructor. I ask my students questions about everyday life, and often the answers are very surprising to me. For example, a couple weeks ago, I asked my students to practice recommending a restaurant, and one of them recommended a restaurant because it was clean. Now, in my experience, I expect restaurants to be clean. I would recommend a restaurant because the food was delicious, or the atmosphere was good, or the service was good. Clean isn't even in my top 10 list. So as an ESL instructor, I also experience culture shock. What I'd like to do now is share some of the experiences of a few of my students who have agreed to tell you about their culture shock. So here they are, some individual experiences of culture shock in Canada. If you want to learn more about Canadian culture, you can check out my book, 101 Secrets of Canadian Culture. It's available on Amazon in most regions and in Canada on amazon.ca. Thanks for watching, and keep watching to see what my students have to say about culture shock. Hi, can you give me an example of culture shock and why it was surprising?
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm from Romania, and first time when I arrived in Canada, I was shocked when I saw in the front of the houses bicycle, toys of kids, and I asked my daughter why they let them outside. Somebody will take it. And she said, no, nobody will take the bike. And the bike can stay there 1 week or maybe 1 month. Nobody will take that bike. And another day I saw a bike or a jacket or a hoodie or something in the park on the bench. And after 3 days, they are still there. Nobody took it. And for me, this was amazing to be safe and to know if you lost something, you will find it next day or next week when you remember you don't have it. Where is my bicycle? Oh, I forgot, it's in the park. And you go take it, and that's it. I was shocked because in my home city, Craiova in Romania, people never can do that because somebody come and pick up the bicycle or the toys or something else. They jump on the fan and took something from your garden. It's not safe like here. For me, this was a big shock.
Okay, my name is Young Hee from Korea. One of the culture shock I had was sleepover, kids sleepover. Actually, I never heard that. And we have a words in our country. You can have any meal in any place, we don't mind. But sleeping is the always at home, especially girls. It's really hard to get a permission to go friend's house and sleep there. I never had a chance when I was young, sleep at the friend's house. But when I was requested the sleepover from my kids, I was not ready. Like I had to search and study before I send them. But it ended up very funny because they couldn't get a good sleep. They're wearing a new pajama and they're carrying the new, the pillows. That was me, right? But the good thing is I still have a connect. The family, we had like a trade sleepover thing. So it's quite interesting and we had a fun. But it was new, definitely.
Hi, I'm Jasmine from China, and when I was in Canada, I always shocked with people, the young people who sit down uh, on the public floor and like airport, shopping mall, and in school, the students just sit down on the floor in the hall, and even some people, like young people, sit on the floor in the employees change room. So it shocked me because in China, we always teach children don't sit down on the floor because it's dirty. So I was shocked with that.